All right. Hello, everyone. It is day 4 of the Helwani Show ESPN MMA live stream takeover. We continue to give you something else to think about. We continue to give you something else to get excited about. It can be overwhelming. It can be depressing. It can make you feel anxious to watch the news, to listen to the news. So here I am each and every day, at least for this week, doing this at 1 p.m. Eastern. And I'm excited to be here with all of you. I have, just dropped something. I have my baseball. This is not the baseball that Tony Ferguson gave me, but it is a baseball that I have signed by the great Jeff Reardon, former Montreal Expo. And I've got my Helwani Show water bottle. And in case you're wondering, Gilbert Burns is still looking for that permission slip. Now today on the program, we are going to be joined by the Black Beast, and there he is, on time, always giving the people what they want. Whoa, I almost lost him there. Boom, there he is. I'm going live. Houston's own, the pride of Houston, the great Derek Lewis, about to join us today on the live stream. And there he is, my man, Derek Lewis.
What's up? What's up?
How are you, sir?
What's up, man? Good. How you?
You know, I'm doing good. You know, in this time of uncertainty, Derek, I need something to get my spirits up, to uplift me. And I thought, who better than the great Derek Lewis to help me do that? So thank you for doing this. Derek, is your connection okay? Now I'm starting to think that your connection is the problem here, not mine. Can't blame the studio anymore, Derek. What's going on over there in that palatial estate of yours, Derek?
It might be the stucco. They told me the stucco. Yeah, the house. I don't get good receptions inside the house. So I'm gonna go outside.
Okay, it's getting better though, as you're walking. How are things in Houston?
It's pretty good. It ain't that bad like it was. The grocery stores are. I was coming out here
Lost them again. It was good as you were walking out there. Okay, how about here?
Yeah, you can hear me now?
Derek, you good?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you now. When you were walking out of your house, it was actually quite perfect. But now, all right, now it seems to be stabilizing.
Mm-hmm.
So you were saying the grocery stores?
Yeah, the grocery stores. Shit, you called me. You told me to call you. But anyways, yeah, the grocery stores are real empty. The only thing they got left is chicken feet. I don't eat all that.
Did you buy chicken feet or no?
Nah, I don't eat that. I eat anything else but no chicken feet.
Was there really nothing there?
Ain't nothing. Shit, the shelves are empty. Only thing is in the store right now is vegan food and chicken feet. I'm gonna leave that to y'all.
All right. And so you're home with your kids?
Yeah, I'm home with my family, my wife, kids. They all live there.
How are your kids doing? Are they getting a little restless?
I'm getting restless. You know, I haven't whooped their ass in a couple of years. I'm getting real tempted to pull my belt out on them. You know, we need them schools back open ASAP.
What about the homeschooling? Are you doing the homeschooling, Derek?
No, we ain't doing the homeschooling. We let them watch YouTube and let the TV schooling right now.
Okay.
But I ain't doing the homeschooling.
And so for the most part, you're staying home, right?
Yeah.
Any advice for people to stay active, to be positive, to get their mind off of things? What is Derek Lewis doing to try to get his mind off of things?
You know, shit. I guess you could say do the unnormal. You know, even though I'm married and all that, you know, I still watch porn from time to time. You know, I'm going back in my search history. You You know, what I used to look at back in the days. I'm still scrolling back because all this new stuff is crazy now. I ain't into all that.
Uh, yes, I understand. Let me ask you, Derek, last time I spoke to you at the very end of the conversation, you dropped a pretty big bombshell on us about your health situation. Do you have an update on it? People keep asking me every week. I've tried to leave you alone, but I figured this would be a good chance.
No, everything's good now. Coming to find out, it was just a lot of stress, but everything's good now.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this won't stop your career, or more importantly, your health, your long-term health. It's all good.
Yeah, everything's good so far. Yeah.
Okay. What were you so stressed about?
Don't worry about it, man. There's a lot of stuff going on that behind the scenes that people don't know about. But yeah,
Okay, nothing you want to talk about though.
nothing I don't want to talk about for free.
What, if I pay you, you'll talk about it?
Of course. I say your story.
Yeah, that's right. You could write a book. What a life you've had, right?
Oh man, I'm telling you, it's a crazy life. You got to be a special person to walk any mile in my shoes, for real.
That's right. Where does this situation rank in the crazy things that I mean? I remember when you survived the hurricane, right? You were going out helping people with your truck. This one has to be up there. Being cooped up at home, not being able to leave, interacting with people. This is crazy stuff.
Yeah, it's I like to watch Walking Dead and all the apocalypse type of movies and stuff like that, Doomsday. So it's kind of crazy to see that we really just about living in those times right now. So
That's right.
it's crazy, but I like watching shows like that. So I know how to adapt to it a little bit.
Do you have any suggestions for shows that people should watch during these times? Anything that you've watched, because everyone says, oh, there's so much to watch on TV, but now there's no time to watch anything, and now there is time to watch everything. So what would you suggest?
I think everyone should watch Gotham. Gotham is a real good show. It's real bloody, gory. I didn't expect for that to be like that, to be on CW.
Okay.
Bloodline, it's a real good show.
Where's that?
Bloodline?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's based out in Florida Keys and stuff like that.
No, like where do you watch it? Where do you watch it?
On Netflix. Everything on Netflix.
Okay. All right.
On Amazon Prime, you gotta watch The Boys.
Okay.
It's like a superhero movie, but it's real gory too. I like watching gory stuff. Each his own.
I could see that. Now, were there everything's on hold, but were there any talks of a return fight for you before all this happened?
Yeah, actually, my manager called me about an hour ago that they're gonna get us on and popping pretty soon. That my fight is gonna be still booked pretty soon. Yeah.
What was the fight?
It's gonna be soon. That one guy that always letting everybody know all the news before everybody else know about it. You'll hear about it real soon. You'll hear about it real soon. Yeah.
Wait, so you have an opponent?
I don't have an opponent yet, but I got a date in the city yet. I have a city and a date already. Yeah.
What's the date and city?
I'm not going to tell you yet until I get the contract. You know how they go, Ariel. You're not new to this.
They get mad, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I understand.
Not to me, to you.
No, I know. Could you tell us the time frame? Like, how far ahead are they booking right now?
I say, what's it, March, April, May, June? Maybe 2 months, maybe.
Oh, wow. Okay. So they're still rolling along here.
Yeah.
Okay. But they didn't mention an opponent. Do you have a pick for an opponent, someone you want?
It would be anybody, really. Blaze, Orlowski. No, not Orlowski. Overeem.
Overeem?
Yeah, Overeem. The winner out of Francis and the other guy he's fighting.
Yeah, Jairzinho.
Yeah.
But that fight's not happening anymore.
Yeah.
Everything's at a standstill.
Well, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. It doesn't matter who.
Right. You just want to fight.
Yeah, I just want to fight.
And this issue that you told us about, this won't delay your return or preclude you from fighting. You're all good.
Yeah, I'll be all right.
Okay. Yeah. I was worried about you.
Yeah. You ain't calling check up on me, so it's all good.
Well, I didn't want to
You ain't
pry,
worry
you
about
know.
him too much. I'm trying to stunt now.
No. I didn't want to pry, but I did reach out to your manager a couple times. I texted you. I think you didn't write me
Yeah,
back.
no, you got my number, but it's all good. Don't
Oh
worry
shoot.
about me. I'll be all
All right, my bad.
right.
And as far, could I ask your opinion? Because you know you're kind of like the man of the people. You know, one of the big topics over the last couple of days, the fighters who actually had fights booked this weekend, following weekend, etc. Do you think they should be paid? What do you think, Derek?
I'm gonna pull the Dana White card on them. The guys ain't fight. They don't need to get paid.
Okay, that's how you
Yeah,
feel,
that's how Dana White was said.
right?
Nobody, they ain't fight, so they ain't getting paid.
Would you be okay with that if you were in that situation?
Hell no. Shit, I'll be calling everybody. I'll be threatening them and everything. Man, I ain't fighting for y'all no more, man. I need to get paid.
That's right. You could do, you know what you could do? You could start doing those sparring sessions at the gym, you know, that you had recently and start charging people for that online.
Nah, they gonna try to give me attempted murder charge or something like
Okay.
that. It's always a
My bad.
lot funner than an actual fight.
Right.
Yeah,
And as far
yeah.
as streaming, online streaming, you do a lot of that, right?
No, I don't do that.
You don't
What,
do
the
that?
illegal online streaming?
No. The video games.
Oh yeah. You gotta be Pacific nowadays, man. It's streaming, so everybody getting sued and all that. No.
Right.
Yeah, I play video games all day.
Can people watch you play? Can you do that? Do you go on like one of those channels and do that sort of thing?
Nah, but I do have a
No.
YouTube channel. It's called Beast. What shit? Houston underscore Beast. Houston underscore Beast. Yeah, that's my YouTube. I haven't messed
Houston.
with it in a while, but I'm gonna
Okay.
get back on it. Once
That would be
everything
good.
settled down.
Derek, you know, on Saturday, ESPN is airing 11 straight hours of UFC programming, classic fights. What's Derek Lewis's favorite fight ever?
Actually, I just played it yesterday. I was clicking through the channels and I seen me and Travis Brown fight. That was a real good fight. See, he actually broke my ribs in that fight, but I said I needed a boo boo. But
That's right.
yeah, that was a real good. That was a good fight right there. I
That was
overcame
amazing.
a lot for that one.
What'd you overcome?
Having my damn ribs broken and
Oh,
still
right, in the
fighting.
fight. That's right.
Yeah,
That's right. But you broke them in the fight, not before the fight, right?
yeah, in the fight. Yeah.
Right. That was the one in Halifax, correct?
What is it, Canada?
Yeah, Nova Scotia. Same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Well, I
right.
don't know. Shit, I'm not from
Canada.
Canada.
Canada's the country. That was the one where you were fighting for Ronda Rousey's, like it was like Ronda Rousey's
Yeah.
section, but they never went through with it, right?
Yeah, so he ran off and got married to her right after that fight. So, it is what it is. I deserve that.
Yeah. So that's your favorite fight of all time.
That's one of my favorites. And the Russian guy, that was a great one too, because I decided on whenever I wanted to knock him out, so I went ahead and did it.
As far as fights that you weren't a part of, is there a favorite one?
Actually, it was the women fight that just happened.
Oh, Joanna and Zhang Wei Li.
Yeah, them. That was a good fight. That was a real good fight.
You watched it? I thought you don't watch live fights.
No, I actually watched that one.
Really? Why?
Because I wanted to tease Lauren Murphy to let her know that women fights are boring. You know, so I had watched it just so I could try to throw it in the face, but they ended up having a good fight. So that was a real good one.
Did you watch the main event that night? Israel and Yoel?
Yeah, I watched it. And I'm happy that it ended the way it did, because everybody was giving me and Francis hell for a long time, talking about our fight being the boringest fight ever. So I'm glad they gotta have beat us, man. Come on, man. They gotta have beat us. Give me a thumbs up if they beat me.
Come on, everyone out there. Was Yoel versus Izzy more boring than Francis versus Derek Lewis? Chael Sonnen agrees with you. He said that one surpassed yours as being a more important fight in the same building.
That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about. So that's why we gotta do a rematch now. Me and Francis gotta do a rematch.
You really would? Everyone's giving you a thumbs up, by the way, so it seems like a lot of people agree. You really would go through that all over again?
What do you mean go through it? What all over again?
It was so boring the first time. Why would you want to put yourself through that?
Man, got to, because I had back problems and I wasn't training the way I was supposed to that fight.
Okay.
And so I'm on it now, so it got to be. You
So
know,
you're saying
hopefully
if
he don't catch coronavirus. You know, he over there in Africa. I don't know if he's still here in the
no,
United
he's in
States.
Vegas. He's Vegas.
Oh, okay.
So you're saying if they did book you guys again, you would guarantee that it won't be as boring as the first one.
I guarantee it will be more entertaining than what it was. It'll be at
Okay.
least one punch more than it did last fight. Yeah, I can guarantee that.
Okay, that's good. By the way, can I just ask you, in a fight like Yoel and Izzy, like who do you blame for something like that? Since you've been in a situation like that before, is it incumbent upon the challenger to bring the fight to the champion, or are they both to blame? What do you think?
I guess you say they're both to blame. You know,
Okay.
because it's a fight. You know, they get paid to do that, and so they really got to go out there and fight. So they both to blame for that.
Okay. And by the way, I'm going to let you go in 1 minute here. I've been eating a lot since I've been home. A lot of I just had mac and cheese, bagel. It's a lot of carbs. I'm committing carbicide, Derek. Are you having the same problem? You've been so svelte. You've been so on point as far as your weight. Are you eating a lot at home? What's going on?
No, I'm not eating a lot really. Just the same old, same old. But I believe that you should eat a lot. Maybe your face get a little fatter and cover up that big ass nose. You get a fat face, fat cheeks, and everybody won't even think you got a big nose. They
Yeah,
just
that's
think you got
true.
a big ass head.
And my hair is growing because I can't get a haircut. You see this? It's a big problem. What are
Yeah,
you
yeah,
doing? You
yeah,
cut your
yeah.
own hair?
Yeah,
You have a
yeah. I
bald
cut my
head.
own hair. Yeah,
What about the beard?
I got a barber named Chris. He come over and cut my hair. Come to my
What about
house.
the social distancing?
Well, I haven't did it in a while since
Are you
Friday.
worried that it's going to get too big?
No, I'm not worried about that. I'm not no pretty boy or nothing like that, man. I'm not on TV like you. You on TV every day. I'm not sure. I'm not worried about that.
All right, all right. Any final words of wisdom, advice for people who are kind of getting a little stir crazy? Anything that the Black Beast wants the world to know?
Just wash your nasty ass hands, man. That's it.
Okay.
If you see me, don't come shaking my hand. I'm just trying to deuce up at you and keep it
Uh,
pushing. Yeah.
Respect. Thank you, Derek. You're the man.
Thank you. Yeah.
Be
All
safe
right.
out there.
You too.
All right. You just have to press the little X right over there. You see it?
I don't even know. Oh, okay.
And then you're out. There he is, the Black Beast, the man himself. Good to hear from him. I could always use some Black Beast in my life. And to be honest, I wanted to get an update on how he was feeling. So it's good to talk to him here today. And it sounds like it's not going to preclude him from fighting. That he's going to be okay. Thank God for that. Interesting that they're calling people, that they're still trying to book fights. As of right now, the fighters who are scheduled to compete on the card this weekend have not been told whether or not they're going to get paid. And of course, there's the fight card that was scheduled for March 28th, another fight card that was scheduled for April 11th in Portland, all very much up in the air. But the UFC, as I said yesterday, still hell-bent on going through with Tony versus Khabib. They're still pushing for April 18th. UFC President Dana White did an interview with Aaron Bronstetter of TSN fame, saying, hey, if you want to bet on me or bet against me, he said, do it at your own peril because we're going to make this happen. Most likely, international, but is it going to be just one fight on the card? Are they going to have a full card? Are they going to put it on ESPN Plus pay-per-view? Are they going to put it on regular TV? Is it going to be in Japan or Singapore or South Korea or Abu Dhabi? And if you're Tony Ferguson, do you want it to be in the Middle East? There's a lot of questions that still need to be decided, but they're working on it. They certainly are, and it's going to be really interesting to see whether or not they can get this done. I don't know if you saw yesterday, WrestleMania. It was announced will actually happen on 2 days. So this is somewhat unprecedented. They're going to have a 2-day show, April 6th and 7th, I believe it is, at the Performance Center in Orlando. Rob Gronkowski is going to be the host of it, and they also said that it's going to happen in multiple locations. They didn't say where those locations would be, but they said it's going to happen around the Performance Center. And the show is going to go on. It's going to be on the WWE network. So that's really interesting. I wonder why I wonder why they're doing it on 2 days. Maybe because of the recommendation to not have more than 10 people in the same location together. I don't know why, but maybe it's another thing to look forward to because there's not a lot going on these days. There's not a lot of sports to watch. I mean, they could be the only one. Speaking of not a lot of sports to watch, Cage Warriors is still going through with their event tomorrow, which you can watch on UFC Fight Pass. Believe it or not, Cage Warriors is holding an event in Manchester tomorrow night in England, afternoon here in the United States. It's pretty amazing. They're literally one of the last ones left. And that might be the last MMA event that we get for a very long time. If you're wondering about Bellator, Bellator's next event is scheduled for May 9th, so they won't be affected just yet. I was talking to a couple of Bellator fighters, and they don't know what's up as far as that event is concerned. That event is happening in San Jose, but they don't really have to know just yet, right? They don't really have to know because that fight is still a little less than 2 months away. So we'll see what happens as far as that event is concerned. That is the one with the 2 title fights, the Musasi Lima fight and the Nemkov Bader fight. And that's happening at the SAP Center in San Jose. So I'm curious to see what happens there. I know that Henry Cejudo is training for his fight. That's also happening on May 9th in Brazil. Will be interesting to see if that comes to fruition as well. There's a ton of fights. Still haven't officially announced the Perth main event involving Alexander Volkanovski and Max Holloway. We'll see if that comes to fruition. Basically, no one knows anything, and we're all trying to figure out how things are going to progress and when things will get back to normal. It's way too early to figure it all out. Let's do a little roll call here. Where are we all joining us? Where are we all joining us from around the world here on this Instagram Live? I'll probably do one more of these tomorrow, and then we'll try to get back to some kind of normal schedule over the next few weeks. We're currently working right now on some kind of show for you on Monday, a regular quote-unquote type of Helwani show. We'll see if that actually comes to fruition the way we want it to, but I'm confident that it will. We did have the podcast that was posted yesterday, myself and New York Rick and Mark Ramundi doing a little roundtable, a little old school roundtable, if you will. And what else? I did Ariel and the Bad Guy. That should be coming out over the next couple of days. I think either today or tomorrow, I was told. We did a 3-round version with Chael Sonnen, so a non-title fight version, if you will, or a non-title fight, non-main event, or old school main event that were non-title fights. You get the point. It was 3 rounds as opposed to 5 rounds. That'll be up on ESPN Plus soon. And I did a Snapchat show yesterday. A lot of people asking to see the house. You want to see the house? Sure. Yeah, I saw Renato Moicano. Sorry. Yes, roll call. My bad. What's up, farmers from the Midwest? How are you? Oh, Canada. How are you? All right. You want to see the, I showed you the books yesterday. I showed you this. This is my John Stark signed ball. This is a great thing that I got from Chris Cyborg. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? Look at that. And it's signed by her as well. Chris Cyborg, by the way, has been doing a lot of great things over the last few days. She's been doing workouts for people. You can see it on her Twitter page, on YouTube, on Instagram. Also, Jonathan Chainberg has been doing a lot of great things. He's a longtime coach out of Montreal for the likes of George St. Pierre and Rory McDonald. He's been doing some great things. What about this? Go check out his Instagram. He's been doing a lot of workouts in the morning. What about this? This was made for me by a very nice man out of St. Louis. Unfortunately, my daughter broke Chael's head, so it kind of just rests there, and I am still standing strong. Sorry, don't touch my face. You're right. I don't know what happened to my head, why it's like turned like that. It's a bit of a problem. Why don't I give a shout out to my man? Why is this so interesting? I'm so bored. Here's a shout out to my guy. I just got this in the mail if you guys want to see. A little unboxing, like my guy Unbox Therapy. How about this? Misha Tate. I got this MMA bobblehead. How about that? Look at this. I don't know how I'm going to open this at the same time, but this is brand new. I don't even think it's out to the world, but it's a Misha Tate MMA bobblehead. courtesy of my guy, Dave Manley. Look at this. I have not even opened it yet. How am I going to do this with one hand? I need one of my kids to help me out here. Is this good enough? Oh, there's something in her mouth here. This is, okay. Oh, it's all like tied in there. Well, you can kind of get a good sense for it right over here. There she is, Misha Tate. Yes, I love Unbox Therapy. He's the man. That guy does incredible videos. But here's the brand new Misha Tate. And I also got this one, which I haven't opened because I was saving it for our new studio. Oops, I opened it the wrong way. This is a Jorge Masvidal. If you've seen the Monday show, you may have noticed that my Jorge Masvidal broke. Someone didn't pack it very well. So Dave Manley was kind enough to send me. This one is a really good one. I mean, look at that. Look at that. That is really good stuff. As you can see right over there. Very nice detail. Look at the back. I love this sort of thing. Sloppy? It's not sloppy on top. What are you talking about? I think it's really good. Anyway, there's a couple of things. I'll answer a couple more questions before I go here. Thank you to Derek Lewis. You saw my slides, as the kids say. All right, hit me up. 3 questions right now. I'll answer about anything you want MMA related. Let us see who's coming through. Yes, Ben was the one who told me to take the Jorge Masvidal off my desk. That is true. Hello. Sometimes you have to wait for the questions to pile in. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope everyone is trying to stay positive and trying not to get too overwhelmed by the news, trying not to be too anxious and depressed. There's a lot. Yes, the afro might make a return, if we're being honest. First time since college. Do you think Conor will fight Ferguson next for the belt? I don't think Conor will fight Ferguson next for the belt, but I did mention this yesterday on the podcast. I do think that we cannot assume that business will just go back to normal whenever, the fights resume. I think that that's a big assumption. And whenever business resumes, there's going to be a need, I think, to make a lot of money and to get things going, to reignite things. And so if, in fact, Khabib and Ferguson doesn't happen on April 18th, I do think that there is a chance that, they just kind of throw the cards up, reshuffle the deck, and go with Khabib versus Conor. I don't think that's a crazy concept. I want to see, let me be very clear, I want to see Khabib fight Ferguson. Let me be very, very clear. That's one of the most anticipated fights in the history of the sport. I want to see that fight. However, there's no denying that Conor versus Khabib makes a lot of money and that there'd be huge interest, especially in the mainstream sports world, for that fight. No denying that whatsoever. And so I wonder if this really does stretch for 5-6 months. When they come back, do they go to Ferguson or do they go with Conor and Khabib? And that doesn't just apply to Conor and Khabib. Absolutely not. That applies to every fight. Pick a fight that was coming up. Like, that's why I'm kind of hung up on the postponed versus canceled terminology. I think it's kind of semantics in the sense that these same cards aren't going to happen, all over again. In the same place, same cards, same fights, same matchups. No, it just doesn't work that way. Another thing to consider, if in fact fighting resumes, if they don't do April 18th, and fighting resumes, say, in May or June, then we get into Ramadan territory. And then things get really interesting because Khabib isn't going to fight during Ramadan, and he'll only come back in the fall. And so what do you do with Tony, right? And what do you do with Justin Gaethje? What do you do with Conor McGregor? We spoke to Owen Roddy a couple of days ago on the stream, and he said that they were hoping for July 11th, but who knows? I mean, a great way to come back would be with Conor, but who knows if we're able to come back on July 11th. So to even predict these things, to even talk about these things, kind of gives you a headache because no one knows the answer to these questions. And anyone who says that they do is lying. Favorite fight of all time? John Jones, Alexander Gustafsson. What I think is the best fight of all time is John Jones versus Alexander Gustafsson. Number one, UFC 165, September of 2013 in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. I think that fight had it all. It had massive intrigue. It had surprises. It had ebbs and flows. It had, shocking moments in the first round, fourth round, the spinning back. I mean, it had it all. It was a supremely close fight. It was great. I think that's the best UFC fight of all time. My favorite from a personal standpoint UFC fight is probably UFC 65, George St. Pierre versus Matt Hughes. I was at a sports bar in Montreal, and I was watching it with some people, some friends that I convinced to go watch this fight. George St. Pierre trying to go for the belt for a second time against Matt Hughes. Finally, he beats him in Sacramento, of all places, wins the title, and as I've said before, that bar exploded like the Canadians had just won the Stanley Cup. And it was during that moment that I said to myself, you know what? There's something here. This is a very special sport. This sport is worth covering. This sport is worth putting everything that I have, all my energy, my power, my resources into covering this sport. I was sort of on the fence as to whether or not this could be a thing. And when I experienced that among my fellow Montrealers, I said to myself, man, I want to keep doing this. This is a really cool moment. And so that's when it kind of ignited for me. Off the top of my head, I think that was 2005, off the top of my head, UFC 65. Great card. And I know that a lot of you are going to be looking to watch old fights. Like I said a couple times this week, ESPN is airing 11 straight hours of fights. If you don't get ESPN, if you're joining us from overseas, there's a lot of great fights that I would recommend watching. Obviously, Jones Gustafsson, obviously, the Shogun Rua versus Dan Henderson fight from UFC 139, the Mark Hunt versus Bigfoot Silva fight, which was somewhat tainted afterwards. That was a tremendous fight. Robert Whitaker versus Yoel Romero is an amazing fight. The first and the second probably a little better than the first. Tremendous fight. Obviously, Ioane Jacek against Zhang Wei Li is an amazing fight. Misha Tate versus Holly Holm, UFC 196 is an amazing fight. What about Conor McGregor versus Nate Diaz? 2, 1 was great, shorter, but 2 was a much longer fight, a great fight. In UFC history, there's been a lot. Oh, of course, Rory McDonald versus Robbie Lawler, the second one, not the first one. The first one wasn't all that great. The second one at UFC 189 was just unbelievable, an absolute tremendous fight. Those two went back and forth. So there's been great. You could probably do a best of for every division. Let me see right now if I can do it off the top of my head. UFC 120, flyweight, I would say best flyweight fight ever is either DJ Cejudo 2 or Dodson DJ 1 at flyweight. At 135, I'd say the best fight ever. 135 best fight ever would probably be either Cruz Faber 2 at UFC 132 or Cody. Oh, TJ Cruz. That was a great one in Boston. I picked that one, TJ Cruz. 145, Aldo Mendez 2, absolute amazing fight. UFC 179 off the top of my head. That's the one I would pick off the top of my head at 145. 155, oh my, Frankie Edgar, Gray Maynard, number 3. Who else? Frankie Edgar, Gray Maynard. Is there a better one? Khabib Connor, but BJ against Diego was pretty great, but the ending was a little one-sided. I'll go with Frankie Gray Maynard 3. 170, Oh, 170. Johnny Hendricks GSP was tremendous at 170 back in the day. Interim Conda Diaz was pretty great, but I'm going to go with official title fights here. So that's the one that comes to mind. I'll go with Condit. Excuse me. Actually, Condit GSP was great as well, but I'll go with GSP Hendricks for 170. 185, I'll go with that was interim Gaslam Adesanya. That was interim. I don't know, 185. There haven't been a ton of great ones there. I'll go interim for that one. I'll go Gaslam Adesanya. 205, I'll go John Jones versus Alexander Gustafsson. Heavyweight, I will go Kane JDS, the second one. I'll go with that one. Home, Rousey at 135. 145 just hasn't really had all that much, but why not? Nunes, Cyborg, and then, yeah, Romero Whitaker. But that wasn't for the official title. It was for an interim. And then what about 125, Shevchenko, Joanna? And then finally, 115, let's go with, Joanna Zhang. There you go. All right, those are my favorite fights. Go watch them all. Go enjoy them all. I'll see you soon. Be safe. Be positive. Think good thoughts. Don't try to read the news. Watch the news. Just think about other things. But stay inside. Wash your hands. Be mindful. Be kind to others. And I love you all. Bye-bye.